That was D.B. Cooper by the Knottie Boys, who are actually in the studio with me right now. Well, two of them are.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
You guys want to take a minute to just introduce yourselves? Tell us who you are.
Sure. Hi, I'm Dan, singer and rhythm guitar player of the Knottie Boys. I write the terrible words you hear sometimes. Yeah, that's me.
And I'm Nicky. I'm the bassist and the artist, but you could call me the fartist, baby.
Where are you guys from, too? I know you're from Long Island, but if you want to get, like, if you want to narrow it down, 'cause the island's large.
It's a pretty big island.
It's a pretty long island. Like,
It's quite long.
The length of the island is insane.
Yeah, you might even say it's strong. I'm from Farmingville, born, raised, although I was born in the Stony Brook Hospital, so, you know.
Stony
Thank
Brook.
you, fellas. Go see wolves.
Wolfie the Sea Wolf delivered you.
Yeah. You gonna introduce yourself? Or where you're from?
Yeah, I live at... That's in Farmingville. Look it up. That's a real address. I'm also a New York guy and also a Kentucky guy.
You did not live in Kentucky. You did live elsewhere.
Yeah, I lived in a swamp once.
Like Shrek, or... Is the swamp like how you see it in Shrek, or...
No comment.
Okay. I can see I got too personal there.
Personal.
So how did you guys get together and start making music as the Knottie Boys?
So, I've been writing songs since not early high school, probably middle high school. None of them were very good for a long time. And believe it or not, this is probably what, like, me and Nicky's, like, fourth attempt at a band. Because we would just be like, yeah, we're going to make a band and this and that. And then, like, we'd get, like, a meeting where we'd, like, be at TGI Friday. Be like, yeah, we're going to cover Saint Cecilia by Foo Fighters. And then we're going to do this song and this song. And then we're going to write songs. And I think one of them was Kangaroo Court. That was one of the bands we were going to make. Then Mindscape.
Mindscape was before Kangaroo Court.
I'm sorry. And then eventually those dreams faded. And then... I don't know, I guess I met up with Nicky, and I showed him a song, and he had, like, just bought a bass and an amp, and so he was like, oh, want to play some songs, like, you know, we can work on stuff, and I'm like, alright, and then in that garage, we played, like, 2 songs, and we're like, oh my god, like, because every guy does this, we're like, oh my god, we're geniuses, we should absolutely be famous rock stars, and then made an Instagram and everything.
Before even making music.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to do it. You make an Instagram and, like, everything else comes later.
Yeah, exactly.
What were those first 2 songs, Danny?
The first 2 songs we worked on were Modern Day Vampire and Backpack. So,
Wow.
So early boys, those ones.
Those are, like, 2 of my favorites, I think.
Thank you.
Modern Day Vampire might be, like, the favorite for me.
Thank you.
But also, where did the band's name come from? Like, is there a backstory on that?
So, we had a lot of ideas for band names, but most of them were either too long or just too poopy scoopy. But then one day, because I would always sleep over at Dan's house, and I would usually just sleep next to him because, like, we're homies, and,
yeah,
and that's
not
what homies
about.
do.
Yeah.
And one day, because we never brush our hair, we woke up and our hair was knotted together. And his mom had to brush it out.
Yeah.
And so we were just the Knottie Boys. That's why it's spelled wrong.
Never think your mom's going to have to brush you and your friend's hair.
Until it happens.
It happens.
I was going to ask about the song we just played before, D.B. Cooper, and what made you want to write a song about D.B. Cooper?
So, the funny thing is, most people would probably think that I watched, like, a movie or, like, read a book, but I don't do that because I'm an internet kid. I was raised with laptops and iPods. So, I was actually watching an episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved where they talk about D.B. Cooper.
Valid.
And I was like, that is the coolest story ever. And then I was like, I'm going to write a song about that. And my favorite part about that song is that the chords are literally for the verse DB. I was very proud of that. I had to tell everybody in the studio when we were recording that, you know, the chorus of the song are DB, and he's like, cool. He's like, okay, can you sing it a little better?
Yeah. See, when you told me about your idea for that song, I was like, oh, so like in Without a Paddle? And you're like, what?
Yeah, I have never heard of that movie.
So what was your favorite song to write? Like, do you have any that you're extra proud of, or?
I mean, right now we're working on a new album, The Weeping of Los Alamos, and there's a lot of songs on that I want to say, but I don't want to say that yet until people can hear it.
We did play one live at Tiny Raccoon, and
yes.
I think we had a really good time writing that one.
That was a very good one. That's going to be the end track on the album, Heavens Look Like Stars, which will be one of the singles for sure. We're not sure which one, but
nice.
That one we love. But I will say, lyrically, one of my favorites is Song for Pat, because it's like a big love story to one of my favorite musicians, Pat the Bunny. He's a huge hero of mine. Like, would not be here without him, for sure.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks that he died.
He's not dead. He's just retired, but okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Pat Schneewy, we want you back.
Patrick Schneewy, please. Your brother's cool, but not as cool as you.
Don't let him hear that.
Michael's gonna come kill me.
So Pat the Bunny is one of your big inspirations. Do you have any other artists that have inspired you, or anything that's like not necessarily musical that's inspired you? Like any other kind of media? Anything in your life? Like what drives you?
I think LMFAO, primarily.
No. I mean, I did love them as a child, but they did not inspire me to make music, unfortunately. So there were some other big ones that really made me want to make music, like David Bowie and My Chemical Romance, who obviously, I think everybody can hear that one. But the problem with them was that, like, it always felt so, like, unobtainable, almost, because, like, their music was so, like, recorded well, and, like, it was like, oh, this is, like, things gods do. This is not a thing a mortal man such as myself, a mortal Dan, if you will, can do. So, really to get back on him, but Pat the Bunny was absolutely, like, he was the first one that showed me, like, oh, like, a regular dude can just record, like, on a crappy laptop with, like, a Band Hero microphone and make an album, and it sounds awesome. But other than music, I love movies. I love all kinds of movies, horror, comedies, drama. My sister wants me to watch The Notebook. I've never watched it, but I keep getting recommended it.
I think I've seen, like, bits and pieces of it. I've never seen the full thing in one sitting.
You know, I just love Ryan Gosling, so I feel like if I do watch it,
what was his weird Halloween album?
Oh yeah, he made an album, Dead Man's Bones,
yeah.
And I love it. It's actually really fun. If the listener gets one thing out of this, don't listen to the Knottie Boys. Go home, listen to Dead Man's Bones on Spotify. In the Room Where You Sleep, absolute banger.
And do you guys have any songs that are, like, your favorite to play live? Or do you have any songs that you hate playing live?
The only one I hate playing live is Sad Squatch, just because it never sounds right live. I don't know why. So that's why we have not played it in probably, like, a year and a half. But favorite, I think right now we just really love playing Modern Day Vampire, simply because we've finally gotten to the point where people know the words. I just love, like, the reaction of, like, people running up to the stage and loving the word. Like, that feels so cool after so long, like, playing it and people not caring. So finally having people care is really cool.
It feels so good.
What's your favorite?
My least favorite to play was Little Anarchy.
Is there any reason to that?
It's kind of boring. I wrote it at a bus stop because I was mad that the bus wasn't there. But now I kind of hate it.
You grow up and realize...
I grew up and I went, I could have just Ubered home.
No, you grew up and realized there's probably a solid reason the bus was late, like traffic.
Yeah, because he hated me. I think that's why, because he hated me. The bus driver hated my guts. He saw me and he went, I could smell him from here. Favorite to play currently, I think, is our new song, Terra.
Terra's fun.
Terra is just it's probably one of the hardest songs that we've ever put out, and it's going to be the beginning of the new album. And I'm just so excited because like it's like such a bang, you know, and it feels good to play. It makes me feel like a real rock and roll man.
I told you not to do the accent.
That's just how I talk, dude. That's how I talk. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you guys have played a couple of, maybe not a couple. You've played like at least one song from the new album live before. Do you have any that you're going to play this weekend at the Bash, or is it going to be all kind of older stuff that is already available?
We're going to be playing Actually, I think when I counted the set list, it was primarily new songs that are not available yet.
Okay.
We're going to be playing Violet, Heavens Look Like Stars, Terra, I believe, is on the set list. Monster Man, Violet and Monster Man we've been playing for a while now. We just haven't gotten recordings of them yet. Well, now we're working on it with Nicholas Starantino from Dead End Studios. And so far, like, I have 3 more songs to do vocally, and then we have some other stuff to do. But so far, it sounds really good, and we're really excited to show people. Like, I think this is definitely like the most proud we've been of a thing we've done so far.
Nice.
So hopefully, us playing some of the new songs will get people excited and make them want to care about waiting for it.
Actually, a thing that might get people excited about it is who's doing the album cover.
Happy Humbug.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I'm not sure their pronouns, but we luckily were able to contact them and talk to them about doing the art, which is really cool. So they're working with Trange, the artist of an Italian horror comic, which I cannot remember the name of.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it, but it's
really cool.
Awesome. Look up both of them, Happy Humbug and
Trange.
Trange on Instagram. They're good.
Who did the covers for your other albums too?
Oh, that was me.
Nice.
Yep. Nikolai Tannenbaum.
I don't like the Modern Day Vampire album cover anymore. Because
you outgrew it.
Because I made it like right after I got an iPad, so it was my first time using digital art. So you can tell like all the presets in it. You can see like there's specifically like a Procreate like paint drip tool that's very clearly on the cover, and it bothers me so much.
What's like your favorite kind of like visual art to make?
I used to really love animating. I wanted to be an animator for a long time, which is why I made the Rover video, because I just wanted to kind of get a little animation out. Currently, I'm becoming a tattoo apprentice. So I guess tattoos are kind of like a current visual art form that I'm really into making. It basically flip-flops every like 3 months of like what I love to draw, because my brain go too fast. I go. You should next tattoo you get, go to a Rose of My Heart tattoo and say that I brought you. And
our good friend Kata also tattoos there, and she just got her license, and she just did a tattoo on my wife. She did a little Cyndaquil on her leg. It's really cute.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Shout
all
out to
very
Kata.
talented.
Congrats on that license.
Hell yeah, Kata.
So if someone who has never heard of the Knottie Boys before was going to check you out, what song would you tell them to start with?
That's a hard one.
Like, is there anything you feel like is, like, kind of definitive of your music, like, sound-wise or lyrically or, like...
I would say probably the best one that would be, like... Because there are other songs that I prefer, but the one that I would say probably best encapsulates our sound is, like, Do It Again off of Modern Day Vampire. Because it's pretty much exactly what we like to make. And it sounds, it's fast, it's not screamy, but the melodies are really cool. So, if you want to get into the Knottie Boys, that's starter kit number 1.
Or just listen to the chorus of NPR.
NPR, skip the verse.
Just
go straight to the chorus of NPR. NPR is another good one. That's the last song on Modern Day Vampire. But I would say that, I would personally say that Do It Again is the one I would prefer people listen to first. Or Modern Day Vampire, whichever one you're in the mood for.
So you guys are playing with some other Long Island and New York City area bands this Saturday at the Bash. Are there any other local artists that you do shows with a lot that you like to play with, that you want to, like, shout out or recommend people check them out too?
We absolutely adore Bad Mary. Mm-hmm. That is one of our favorite bands to play with right now, because they just have such a fun vibe. Like, you'll go from a song that's like, forget about it, and then, like, the next thing you know, it's like, oh, they're calling for you to play The Floor is Lava, so, like, get on a bar stool as soon as possible.
It's so good.
And it's really fun. Our guitarist Ryan usually wins The Floor is Lava, because they are a tiny person and can get up in spider storage. So
Ryan's also not afraid of getting yelled at by the bartender.
That is true.
That helps.
They have
no shame.
They have no shame. What other bands do we play with a lot? Oh, the Skags.
Yeah, we love the Skags.
The Skags are fun.
Things Left Unsaid is great.
Things Left Unsaid is very great. To each its own. Its own.
Yep.
Yeah, they're fun.
We haven't played with them in a while, but Dinosaur Skate Park is really fun.
Dinosaur Skate Park.
Mm-hmm.
These are all bands you should absolutely be checking out, because they are fun. They are nice to us, unlike unlike some people, most bands have actually been very nice to us. So I just have to lie and make fake beef so that way people are interested. I feel like that's the thing that's missing in the Long Island scene is just beef. I think we just need...
Oh, no, we got enough of it.
We got like WWE drama. Like walk out during the middle of somebody's set, just rip their guitar out of their hands.
With the chair.
Yeah.
Well, there is that one jazz band that absolutely hates our guts.
Is there a jazz band that doesn't like us?
Yeah, Pointy Shoes.
Oh, yeah, we made fun of their pointy shoes. We didn't realize their band name was Pointy Shoes.
And we were just joking about their pointy shoes.
So when we saw the shoes, we were like... We were like, nice pointy shoes, and they're like, they're stilettos, and then stabbed us.
Oh, another really good band is Squid Boy Behemoth, and their friend Squid Girl Goliath.
He's making this up.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say, that's like a hell of a name.
But those are awesome names, right?
Yeah, no, like...
Those are free.
You guys actually do have a show coming up with the Skags the weekend after the Bash at the Cave.
May 4th. So, unfortunately, our guitarist will not be able to make it. So I'm going to be last minute doing an acoustic thing at the Cave, which I don't know how that's going to go. Because the Cave usually wants to get rowdy. And I'm going to be playing a couple Knottie Boys songs that maybe will translate to acoustic. And then some covers, hopefully things people can sing along and dance to. And they won't need to look at me so much.
Oh, they're going to look. They're going to look.
I can like turn around if it makes you feel better.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
I'll stand in the corner.
You can look. I'll just have to look my best.
Everyone could just wear sunglasses.
Yeah, just wear sunglasses so I can't tell where you're looking. Don't
I
be
mean, you
looking
guys
at
have
my
done
shoes.
some pretty fun covers in the past, so I think that'll go over well. Like the Black Eyed Peas at the Cave was.
That was one of the funniest ones because I at practice randomly was like, guys, like I just like in my head I'm like, what if we did a Black Eyed Peas song? And we were literally just talking about, we're not going to do any covers because, like, we need time to practice the new songs and this and that. And I'm like, okay, guys, what if, though? Because I was just the one saying that, too. So I was just the one being like, we shouldn't do covers. What about Black Eyed Peas? And so they were immediately down.
Yeah.
We learned it, like...
I think, 2 days.
Yeah, we took, 2 days. It wasn't even that. It's just... It's the same thing over and over. So it's, just remembering where you are in the song. But then the thing is, I knew the crowd was going to go crazy for it, and they did. So, win for me, win for will.i.am, and Fergie.
Whoever else is in
the Black Eyed Peas.
Can't name a single other Black Eyed Pea.
My wife would know.
She's a big pea head?
She's a big Black Eyed Peas fan.
She's a pea head, huh?
She might be listening right now and being like, damn. He's outing me on public radio. a Black Eyed Peas fan.
But, that's not even our most successful cover that we did.
What would you consider our most successful?
One time we did a cover set, but we didn't tell anyone who we were going to cover. It was like a Halloween show. And, we were trying to be super secretive about it because everyone else is just doing other bands and stuff. And day of, we show up and we're all dressed like Mayhem.
Yeah,
we have the corpse paint, we have the spikes, and we just show up and we're like, how's it going? We're just talking to people and they're like, you guys are doing Mayhem? And we're like, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, the funniest thing was our buddy Evan from Charge for Battle shows up, and he's talking to me. He's like, "You guys are doing Mayhem. I know you guys are doing Mayhem." And I'm like, "Well, we'll see." And then Nicky walks over, and he's like, "Dan just told me you guys are doing Mayhem," thinking he's gonna get one over on us. And Nicky's like, "Yeah, we're doing Mayhem." And he's like, "Yeah, I knew it. Dan, see, I caught you. You're doing Mayhem." And he was right up front and center. He's like, "I don't know any Mayhem songs, but I'm super excited." And then we did a little fake Mayhem intro and then proceeded to play an entire 30-minute set of SpongeBob songs.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And it was the first time we ever played a set that had people just absolutely
losing
it, jumping on stage, singing the songs.
That
was a good one.
What's the most fun, SpongeBob song to play?
Gary Come Home.
Gary Come Home is probably the catchiest one, but I will say I really loved playing Sweet Victory. That one was very fun just because it felt like it was the end of the set, so it was just big bravado Sweet Victory, dude. And we won that night, dude.
Oh, yeah. There was no competition, but in our hearts and minds.
The Skags were there. They played No Effects, and that was actually probably a better set, but the SpongeBob set was funnier, so I think we win.
We even painted ourselves to look like the characters from SpongeBob. No, we didn't do that.
We didn't do that.
I was gonna say, you
just said we just like Mayhem.
Yeah, I know. I can't even lie about that.
No, but now you have an idea for the next time you do a fake Mayhem SpongeBob set. You can do SpongeBob corpse paint.
Yes, that's true.
That's true.
That is true. That'll be our next Halloween show.
We actually planned on releasing that live set, but there was a lot of miscommunication because someone was going to record it, but we had forgotten to tell them, so then they forgot.
Well, we forgot to remind them the day of to bring their stuff. So unfortunately, there's no good audio recording of it.
I have an unreleased
Lost
album
media.
cover for that too. I literally was so ready for it.
It was gonna be really funny, but unfortunately. I'm sorry I neglected you.
We should do one more of those one day and not tell anyone and have it be
we'll
another
do it surprise. No. So now you all have to come to every Knottie Boys show.
Exactly.
And hopefully one day hear the surprise SpongeBob set again.
And it'll be cool.
It'll be good.
That might be like the best marketing tactic.
Yeah.
You have to come to every show, because if you don't, you might miss the SpongeBob one.
So true.
Actually, another good marketing tactic, you have to go to every single show because one random show we're also going to be naked.
That is not true. I will not be doing that. I'm not a fan of Blink 182. I'm not.
We like Alkaline Trio. We're not heathens.
Yeah, we're adults. We listen to Alkaline Trio in this house.
So you'd mentioned too that like the Long Island scene is not, there's no beef really. It's not like a drama-filled thing. What are your thoughts kind of on like the current state of the Long Island scene? Like, do you think it's getting better? Do you think it's stagnating, going downhill? Like, I'm sure you guys have a lot of thoughts on it, being that you're so like entrenched in it.
It's kind of funny because like a few years ago when we had first started, when we didn't find like where our music kind of fit in, we played a lot of hardcore shows. People weren't as into it. Then we would try around and play a lot of places. We have now found like right kind of where we fit in, but for a long time we were always a little disheartened a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of the times it's really about finding where you really like truly gel and belong. Like, because a lot of our friends were like the hardcore bands, so like it was like, oh, well, obviously we're gonna play with our friends, but then obviously our friends' crowds weren't really into what we do. Unless we were playing a hardcore song, and then they'd be like, oh, these guys are pretty good, actually. And then we'd go and play one of our normal songs, and they'd be like, what the heck is this? This is not what we signed up for. And we didn't necessarily realize that. We were pretty young. And, over time, we finally started realizing, oh, these are the bands we need to play with. And, but even then, like, there was never really that big of a crowd. We spent a lot of time playing at empty bars. We paid our dues, all right?
Yeah, guys are definitely not at like empty bars anymore.
Yeah. But now, like, I think that a big difference was the Cave opened.
Yes.
And
brought everything together.
And really, like, we played like one show at the Cave, and it was like one of the best crowds we ever had. And we're like, oh my god, like that was insane.
So that might have been the show that I discovered you guys from and like heard you for the first time. Was the one where you were all dressed as Mario characters.
Yes,
that was the first
last
time.
That was the first time we played at the Cave.
Yeah,
and
my friend was just like, "Oh, we're going to this house show," and I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, there's none of those on the island, so obviously I'm gonna go to this one." And you guys played in your Mario costume.
It might sound sad, but right before we had that Cave show, we had planned for the summer before that to be kind of like a tour.
Yeah.
But none of the venues really like answered back, and it was just really, really difficult. We played a few shows. We played 2 in the city that I had booked. It was my first time booking, and they just went awful. Like, we literally played to an empty room, and we needed to like sell tickets and stuff. So it was pretty bad, and that like disheartened all of us for a while. We took a long break, and our first show back in a while was actually a Cave. And we were, like, all still really bummed, but the crowd reaction and everything, like, really revamped us and kind of brought us back to where we wanted to be.
It was really, like... So we really wanted to play the Cave again, and it took a while for us to get another show there. And then the second show we played there, it was even crazier. There were more kids in the room, and I think after that, like, no matter where... We were like, oh, it's just the Cave. The Cave has these people. But then we started playing other venues, and the kids who saw us at the Cave started showing up to all these venues, and I think the thing that the Long Island scene was missing for a really long time was somewhere where kids could go and see bands.
Yes, for free, for all ages,
because
everything.
I think people think that like, oh, it can be like it was back in the old day where like, it's at bars, CD bars, kids show up and like they sneak in, but like kids can't really do that anymore, you know, and that's not really good for kids to be sneaking into bars.
Really. We shouldn't be asking kids to sneak into bars.
So, you know, like, I think having a place where it was super local, like, it's really where, no matter where you are, it's pretty easy to get to. And, like, it's all ages. Now it's donate, like, you can donate to help the bands out and stuff. You know, and it's just a place to hang out. And it's not even like kids show up there. They don't even care what bands are playing. They're just like, oh, there's a cave show tonight. I'm going. They don't care what bands are playing. They're going to get down there. They're going to dance. They're going to get sweaty. You know, and I think, you know, not to sound like a cave advertisement, but like, you know, I think that venue existing really helped us get our crowd. And like, now we go to Connecticut and kids show up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's crazy.
Like, it felt crazy. We drew 8 people who came from here to see us when we played in Connecticut, of all places.
Yeah.
We were like, oh my god, this is awesome.
So, you know, I think that right now the scene is doing really great, and I think the only thing we could always use is more people showing up to shows.
That's true.
That's the only thing we can always use. So, you know, if you are interested at all, if you like bands that are like My Chemical Romance and Taking Back Sunday and all these bands, like, they were playing in basements, they were playing at bars, like, and it took people going to see them for people to notice and really care. So I think if you care about music in any way, it doesn't have to be punk. You can go see jazz bands. You can, you know, any music you really love, and if you're passionate about it, I think you should absolutely go and see it. And, you know, maybe you'll be inspired and you'll want to be in a band. And then you'll understand why it's important to have people care and come to shows. So I think right now the scene is doing really well. And I think it's on the up and up.
Not to sound like a cave advertisement on my end as well, but I think I agree that, like, they really did so much for the scene there by giving people, like, an accessible place to go. And there's no, like, gatekeepy, weird people there. Like, I've never met someone who was a jerk at the cave. Like, everyone's nice. No one's like, oh, you don't know this band? Oh, you don't know this? Yeah. Like, oh, okay. Like,
and you know what? Heard Cattle Fart? What are you doing here? What are you doing here, dude?
You weren't at Cattle Fart's debut show?
Idiot.
Why are you here?
Go home.
It's so great because, like, a lot of the kids that go to the cave, those are, like, their first shows.
Yes.
You know, and, like, that's what's really cool about it is, like, I made a zine recently where I talked about the cave a lot. I interviewed Joey, from the guy who runs the place, and
Shout out to Joey.
Shout out Joey.
Him and Cam, baby.
Joey and Lenny, the dog.
Lenny's
Lenny,
the dog.
Love Lenny. Lenny's a real one.
And, like, what is it? And, like, it's so crazy because a lot of those kids didn't even know what a zine was.
Yeah.
So giving them the zine, and so I was like, oh wow, a lot of these bands that are playing here, we're like some of their first shows ever, and that feels like cool.
Yeah. So they have no frame of reference for what's good or bad, which works perfectly for us.
And that's why they can't gatekeep.
We can't gatekeep because we're like, please come in. Help. Buy a shirt. We're starving.
Please buy my sticker.
$10.
Wash your car.
Do you guys have anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug?
We could talk some poopy on some guys.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
You can make up beef.
Buddy.
You can make up beef, dude. This will be exactly where it starts.
Yeah. I'm going to drag my buddy TJ by his ears to a show. I don't even think...
He doesn't even have ears, dude.
No.
That's messed
he
up
doesn't have
for you
any
to
ears.
say.
Damn. I shouldn't have said that. So, yeah, I mean, right now we're finishing up our album, The Weeping of Los Alamos, with, like I said, Nicholas Tarantino from Dead End Studios. And it's really sounding really great. It's 11 songs. It's about 40-something minutes. It's the longest thing we've ever done. And it's this really cool concept record about a guy who hears voices in a radio and is tasked with saving the world by a lady ghost who he falls in love with. It's a lot cooler than that, I promise. I'm just bad at explaining it. There's some really cool songs you probably wouldn't expect from a band like us. Like, there's some really pretty moments on it, and some very emotional things, which, I mean, I guess you'd expect that part from us. We're crybabies a little bit.
I don't cry, dude.
I've never cried in my life.
I haven't cried since I was, like, firstborn. Day one. Cried? Never again.
So, yeah, we're really proud of it, and we're really hoping people will gel with it, because we're just trying to do, instead of what we think people think we should do, we're just trying to do what we want to do. And I think we're just 4 guys who really love what we do. And I think that it'll shine through, and we hope it inspires other people to do that, whether it be music or art or, you know, their day-to-day job. Like, do what you love. So we're really excited for that to come out. We don't know exactly what day it's going to come out. We're shooting for the first single to be done by June 8th. Mm-hmm. So look out for that day. And again, it's The Weeping of Los Alamos. Ghosts, ghouls, end of the world, nukes.
No goblins.
Very interesting. No goblins, unfortunately.
Next album, maybe.
The
There
only
are cannibals.
There are cannibals.
Oh, okay.
The only goblins I keep are in my magic deck. So, yeah, I think that's all we currently have to promote.
You know what?
I think I left the stove on. So,
Oh, dude, I left my dog in the shower.
what was he? You don't have a dog.
Whose dog was it?
All right, well, Dan's got to go turn his stove off, and Nicky has to get a dog
Out of his shower.
So, thank you again to the Knottie Boys for coming in and taking the time to talk with us about The Bash and their albums and their mystery dogs that they didn't know they had.
Thank you very much for having us. I
that was awesome.
appreciate it very greatly.
Let me play you guys off. Hold
Play
on.
me out.
Play me out with the
Dang,
coolest song in
dude.
the world. Sad Squatch.
No, not that one.
Oh.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
I am a modern day vampire, always bags under eyes, so tired. The only things I kill are good times. Only thing that's real is my mind. Every person I know is jaded. All of my friends are so medicated. I am a modern day vampire, always bags under eyes, so tired. If I asked you kill me slowly, would you stake me or would you leave me? And if I asked you kill me slowly, would you stake me or would you leave me? For a guy like me, lacking you is a risk to take. I have a vampire heart, and your smile's a stake. My coffee blacker than my soul. My mug is stains. Caffeine withdrawal gets worse until it's in my veins. I am a modern day vampire, always bags under eyes, so tired. If I asked you kill me slowly, would you stake me or would you leave me? And if I asked you kill me slowly, would you stake me or would you leave me? And if I asked you kill me slowly, would you stake me or would you leave me? And if I asked you kill me slowly, would you stake me or would you leave me? And if I told you I